Here, my name's Q.
Okay, here's a look at Transformers Studio Series Dark of the Moon Wheeljack, or Q. So here you can see what the front of the box looks like with the nice CGI concept artwork from the movie and the alt mode. And the back of the box, you get your typical product image and a screenshot from the movie and a short little description here. You could pause and read if you want to know what that says. And this is an official Mercedes product. And the side of the box, I think this is weird. I don't know what they're doing now, but you get his shoulder, just like the Studio Series Optimus Prime has the shoulder on the side of the box. And here the same nice CGI artwork from the movie. And the top of the box, Transformers Dark of the Moon Wheeljack, or Q. And the bottom warning words and stuff. So that's a look at the box. And here is a look at the figure. And here, let me just first say that I think they did a really nice job sculpting this figure. I mean, they sculpted in all the details, so this definitely looks much more movie screen accurate than the previous unreleased US version, which I had to get the import Takata one. That was never released, but yeah, they did a really nice job here. So now let's zoom in and take a closer look, but first let's go over the instructions, because I'm looking through a lot of the Hasbro instructions now and carefully really, examining it. And let me just tell you that I'm not really happy with the way they do the instructions or these detailed drawings. I mean, first of all, doesn't have the text to go with the images with the detailed drawings, so you kind of know what you're doing. You just have to rely on the images. And this is an easy fix. This doesn't cost much to fix, like paint and stuff. So yeah, I'm not really happy with the Hasbro instructions anymore. But anyways, that's the instructions. And in terms of the accessories, you could see on the back, I already attached his staff that you can take off, and you can also attach, I don't know if this is a gun or one of his tools, but yeah, this is one of these handheld things that you could put in his hand. So he's like fixing something, because I don't remember seeing him shooting in the movie. And then we have this staff, and this I don't know how this is supposed to go in, but this just looks weird. So you can have him holding the staff like that. But anyways, those are the accessories. Now, let's go over some of the details. So first, let's take a closer look at that head. This is a really nicely sculpted head. So props to the toy sculptors. I think they did a nice job. And it's kind of lacking some silver paint, but at least they painted the side of his hair to be this nice metallic baby blue color, and his teeth or mustache, whatever you want to call it, and his eyes. So that's really cool. And like I was telling you, look at all the nicely sculpted detail, all the gadgets and stuff that he had in the movie. They sculpted it in. So these are not removable accessories. They're sculpted in, which I actually think is a cool design. And then when you come down, you could see, the rest of the details. I'm just trying to appreciate all of the nicely sculpted details from the toy sculptor. They did a nice job with this. And in terms of the articulation, his head is on a ball joint, so it can go look up, can look down. It can rotate side to side. It's a little tight tolerance, and it can go all around. And then if you lift up these shoulder pads, you could see the shoulders are on a ball joint, so it can go forward, it can go back, it can go out to the side. There is a bicep swivel, the gray one. There is a bicep swivel, but you saw right here, it's a ball joint. So you do get a elbow joint. And there's also another joint here, which is actually part of the transformation. So you get a good amount of articulation with the arms. There is, unfortunately, no waist rotation or ab crunch, but his hip skirts can come up, and his legs can go up and back, out to the side. There is a knee joint. There is thigh rotation. Foot can go up, not really down, and you don't get an ankle rocker, but part of the transformation, you can engage this to rotate it, and then you can kind of fake the ankle rocker. So you can get a good amount of articulation, some nice dynamic poses, even though Wheeljack never really made these cool poses like this. But yeah, you get a good amount of articulation. And this figure particularly, the tolerance is done pretty good. So the joints and stuff are pretty tight. Not all Studio Series are made like that, but I'm just pointing out this one. Yeah, it's pretty stable with the tight tolerance of the joints and stuff. But anyways, here's a look at the Wheeljack. And for comparisons, let's bring out the previous never released US version of Wheeljack. This is the original Dark of the Moon Wheeljack that you can only get from the Takata. So this is actually the Takata released it. And yeah, you could see the difference. So first of all, you could see it's much taller, because back in the day, you were definitely getting your money's worth, because now the figures are shorter, there's less accessories, less paint. I think I paid like $30 for this, and this one I think was about the same. So you could see what I'm saying. Hasbro is going really cheap on us. We're not really getting our money's worth compared to, the previous version. But in terms of the comparison, let's bring these guys up and come up, because I want to point out, look at the head sculpt here. Well, first of all, yeah, I think this head sculpt might be a little bit more tune accurate. It's just, I think it's missing some nice silver paint finish. And here, those hairs, they use the transparent blue plastic instead of the metallic light blue paint. So there are some differences. But yeah, if you go down, you could see the nice, kind of like a silver gold paint here. So yeah, they were definitely more generous with the way they made the figures in the past. And then you could see they have all these accessories that this comes with as well. And this, I forgot what these were called. These were called the mech gimmick or something. But look at this. It's a working little gimmick here, and it spins. These aren't, they cost money to produce these things. So you definitely got a lot more back in the day. And then they did give you a lot more accessories here. Some tools in his hand. I think that's some kind of drill. And this was part of that line where, these you can click these in all over the place. And then his like blow dryer or something. And then his staff. So yeah, compare these staffs. See, this is what I was telling you, this gimmick back in the day. You can clip these in. So that's cool. And in terms of just the comparison, look at what they gave us then and look at what they gave us today. I don't know. I think this one's actually more movie screen accurate too. But anyways, just pointing out some of the differences between the two. The quality of the plastic is something different too. I mean, these are prone to crack and break, especially if you don't know how to properly transform the figure and stuff. But anyways, I'm just trying to point out all of the differences between the two. But yeah, here you can see what these two look like. And there was actually something else that came with this. Takata always takes pride in their figures. So here's the bio card that they gave you, but they did something cool here. So they made it so that you could put this on top. So now he looks like he's holding the weapon. And up here, it looks like the tech spec. It adds more power or something to it. So that's really cool. And then the back, I actually like the design of the back. Even though there's all this stuff in Japanese, I don't know how to read. I used to be able to read that. I can't read it anymore. But yeah, this is something else that you got with the previous version that was never released in the US. But yeah, this is really cool. But yeah, here's the difference. This is actually much taller, and now this is shorter. These are both deluxe. But this was the deluxe back in the day. This is the deluxe today. But anyways, it's much shorter now. So there's another comparison. And for some more comparisons, since Wheeljack now completes the Autobots from Dark of the Moon in the Studio Series line, I thought now is a good time to bring out all of the Studio Series Dark of the Moon Autobots. So here is Optimus with his jetpack, and you could see what that looks like. I'm going to have to zoom out because there's a lot here. And then you can't have Optimus without Bumblebee. And actually, I had to transform this. And I have to tell you, I think this is really a cool figure. It's really sophisticated transformation. But yeah, this is a really fun figure to have. So there he is next to Bumblebee. And then there was a Studio Series Ratchet, but I never got it because the original Dark of the Moon, there was the Voyager size and the deluxe size, and I got both. And then, I spent a lot of time looking at the differences between the original and the Studio Series, and I actually like the Studio Series because the deluxe back then, I told you, were a little bit taller. So I think this actually scales really nice. And we never got a Dark of the Moon Studio Series Ironhide. So I had to pay aftermarket prices for the Takata Movie Best, because this is a deluxe size back then. And I think he scales nice with the Wheeljack. So that's why I got this. And let's move these guys over here, get some more room. And so here is Ironhide, and then Ironhide always appeared in the movie Dark of the Moon with Sideswipe fighting those dreads. And then that freeway scene, we also had Dino or Mirage. So yeah, this is the Autobots here. And then last, we also had the Wreckers, right? So here I have the Wreckers and with the DNA upgrade set. So here, let's put him back there, and then here's another Wrecker with the DNA upgrade set. So this looks a little bit more movie screen accurate. And then who is it? Roadbuster, or I don't know his name, but yeah, now we have all three of the Wreckers with all their weaponized stuff. And where did this come from? I think this belongs to... Is his name Roadbuster? I don't remember all these guys' name. But yeah, here's the Wreckers and the rest of the Autobots. So now we have a complete set of the Studio Series Dark of the Moon Autobots. So here you could see what this looks like, and let's just zoom in take a closer look. Wheeljack now completes this. I'm using the original Dark of the Moon Deluxe Ratchet to go with this. Here's the Dark of the Moon Bumblebee. Back there's the Studio Series Dark of the Moon Optimus with his jetpack. The movie best Ironhide, the deluxe size. Here's the Sideswipe and Mirage. And of course the Wreckers. So yeah, just thought I'd show you the little group shot now that we have all of the Autobots in the Studio Series. So now let's go ahead and transform Wheeljack to his alt mode and take a look at that. Okay, here's a look at Wheeljack, or Q, in his alt mode. And now let's just zoom in, take a closer look at the details. You can see how it's nicely sculpted, and it is painted. It's okay, and I say that in comparison with the original Dark of the Moon Wheeljack. So for comparison, let's bring out that version, and you could see the difference between the two. Interestingly, in alt mode, they're both about the same size. The Studio Series still is a little bit smaller, but the most significant thing I was saying is look at the details, the way they handled it. I mean, here they gave you the nice transparent plastic for the headlights, and it's nicely sculpted detail in there. Here it's just painted silver. So yeah, there's one example. And then you could see how the rims, they're pretty much the same. It's just this has a little extra touch of paint. And then look at the door handle. That's nicely painted. And then when you look at the back, look at the difference here. You get the painted smokestacks there. You get the Mercedes logo there, the detail. Just look at the difference. The original one was done much better, in my opinion. And also, I mean, this is really nitpicky, but look at the front. You could see all the parting lines here from the parts, you know, for transformation. And here you could see it's nice and clean. Both are painted, but yes, I don't know. For some reason, this one looks like it's a little bit shiny-er. But anyways, there's a look at the differences between the two. And like with all my old figures, they're staying in the alt mode, and I'm going to keep this with my original Dark of the Moon collection. And this version, the Studio Series, now belongs with my Studio Series Dark of the Moon Autobot collection.
Human conflicts.
Okay, and for some more comparisons, let's bring out the rest of the Studio Series Dark of the Moon Autobots. And I actually took the time to transform all of this. So yeah, just pointing out, here he is with the Optimus, and I'll just give comments on each one. I don't like the way this was handled. I mean, look at all that kibble exposed there. And then the trailer, it's backwards. It should be taller here and shorter here, but you could see it's wide here and short here. So basically the trailer should be like this, not like this. And then just more details. The smokestacks are cropped. But anyways, here's a look at Wheeljack with Optimus, and then always Optimus is with Bumblebee. So you could see what these two look like. And then who else came out here? There was a Sideswipe. Let's put him back here. And then there was also Mirage or Dino, all from that scene in the movie when they all came out or came in the Autobot base. And then I told you I don't have this studio. Well, they never made a Studio Series Dark of the Moon Ironhide, but here is the Takata movie best version. Yeah, and even in alt mode, if you look at this, I think this actually scales pretty nice. Maybe just a little small, but still looks good in my opinion. And then the original Dark of the Moon Deluxe class Ratchet. So here now you could see what all these guys look like together. I think this is a this is a cool set in my opinion. Let's put Ironhide back there. Let's try to get a group shot of everybody. And then of course we do have the Wreckers. So now we're gonna have to move more of these guys back here and then bring in the Wreckers. And man, yeah, these these are a little intimidating to transform, but actually when you take off all the parts from the DNA upgrade set, they're actually still pretty easy to transform. But here you could see what these guys look like now all together with Wheeljack. And then of course we have the Wheelie and Brains, who don't transform, but they did also appear in the movie with the Wreckers. So yeah, here is the collection of the Studio Series Dark of the Moon Autobots. So yeah, what do you think? I think this is a cool collection. So anyways, that's it. Instead of rambling on and on, I'm just gonna now in my review here might give you my final thoughts on the figure. Overall, this is a nice figure. It's pretty easy to transform, and yeah, the best thing is that now you can complete your collection of the Autobots from Dark of the Moon in the Studio Series line. So that's it. That's my review. And again, I don't give recommendations, because if you want it, you'll get it. If you don't, you won't. But for me, I got it just to complete my collection. And I'm actually happy with it because now I have the complete set of the Autobots in the Studio Series line for Dark of the Moon.
Wait a minute! I'm not letting you go out there without my urban combat prototypes!
We gotta go, Q. Come on.
They're great inventions for kicking ass!